it looks like Jonna Brand recently paid to have someone cremated in a garden of remembrance. So let's go there. Let's go to this new location. We sort of have to explore where we're trying to find new graves, right? I mean, how do you locate a grave that's recent? I'm sure flowers are a good indication, right? People usually leave flowers by graves, so if a grave has recent flowers, then it must be a recently visited grave. Yeah, I don't know. This game was made during the coronavirus pandemic, so there were probably a lot more graves and dead people than usual due to all the people dying. Well, I don't really see any graves. I just see a lot of trees, really. Oh, there are some graves. Okay, maybe they're over here. No, that's a bench. That's... Yeah, actually, I'm pretty sure the grave site we're looking for is over here. It's a little hard to find. This is a bit of a maze, right? Look at all these graves just everywhere. But eventually, sort of in the corner here, you reach this grave. So this is the Gardens of Remembrance for people that don't have headstones. They don't have specific markers for their individual graves. So yeah, these have a bunch of flowers. A lot of people did die recently. We've got candles too. And what's this over here? Love? Skateboard love. Alvin, I can't believe you'll never be back. Swept away by a heart attack. I'll always miss you, Alvin. Died July 14th, 2020.
The 14th of July? That's just 1 week ago.
So he died last week when he was 16. Man, 16 in almost 2 months. Wow. Okay, so after confirming the fact that Alvin is dead, Carol gets a message from Jonna. Alvin has come home now. Everything's fine. It was all just a stupid misunderstanding. My apologies for all the redundant work you had to do. I don't know, Jonna. I don't think he came back home. I think it's kind of impossible for him to ever come home again. We've got to talk to Jonna. We've got to see her.
I'm sorry for keeping you occupied for no reason. There really wasn't anything to it.
Why did you message me saying Alvin's home again?
I heard his voice in several of the rooms.
You didn't see him, though. You only heard his voice. I don't think he's still alive. I just went to his grave.
I seem to have heard something about that too. But it's just, what they call it? Anecdotal?
No, your son is dead, Jonna, and we know for a fact that you've been medically diagnosed as having severe psychological issues.
No corona here. We've been very careful.
No, I'm not saying you're diagnosed with corona. I'm saying you're diagnosed with severe psychological issues, and you were trying to poison your boyfriend August in order to inherit all his money, weren't you?
What? I hired you, remember? And not for spying on me.
Look, I found a receipt for the poison, and you have a saved web page with bottle resellers.
You filthy conspirator.
I'm gonna leave now.
Two-time.
Ah! Don't yell at me. Look, I'm gonna leave now. Why don't you go indoors and try to calm down?
It's time to come clean with August. I hope he's home now.
So that was an interesting confrontation with the culprit. It wasn't really like a big scary confrontation. We just confirmed that she's the killer and she was trying to kill August. I mean, that was the plan. She was going to kill him and inherit everything, but her son...
She did exhibit some irrational behaviour. It did strike my mind that she might suffer from some disorder.
Her son left this note here that he noticed she was keeping this weird bottle, and he decided to try it. He decided to drink that. It was poison. It was the poison, and that is what killed him. Yeah, it took me a lot of time to realize Jonna had mental problems too. It took me a really long time.
She was gentle and kind, and treated her son well. I knew she had some financial problems, but I could have helped her with that.
She had a more permanent plan for getting your money.
It seems like that, yes. Thank you for potentially saving my life.
Potentially? Come on, buddy, give me a bit more credit here. Well, in any case, please change your will.
It's in the works. I've already burnt the last one.
And hey, if you want to leave all your money to me, that would be okay. I wouldn't mind taking some of that money. Good to hear. Good luck finding a better house cleaner. I wasn't really a good house cleaner. I was more of a spy.
Thank you again, Carol.
You're welcome. You're welcome, August. I went to the police, telling them that I had found evidence that Jonna was planning, or possibly had already tried to, poison August. You probably should have gone to the police first, Carol. I also made it clear that Alvin died after ingesting a soft drink that had been prepared for poisoning August, and that the cause of death was oleander poisoning. Soft drink? I thought it was a water bottle cup. I guess you can have soda inside a water bottle. Anyway, lastly, I described my observations during my last meeting with Jonna, and my conviction that she should undergo immediate psychological evaluation. Jonna Brand was charged with involuntary manslaughter of her son Alvin, but was acquitted, since she had kept the bottle in a locked closet. Yeah, so I guess that means it was illegally gathered evidence? She was, however, convicted for preparation for murder, which is punishable in Sweden. So, planned murder, that's a crime in Sweden. Sentenced to 6 years in prison. Although she'd been diagnosed with delusional disorder, she was considered accountable at the time of the crime, and therefore was fit to stand trial.
It's not always that closing a case brings about a feeling of satisfaction. But at least Alvin's death was explained, and August's life possibly saved. Other than that, not much has changed during the summer. But as the days are getting shorter, colder and darker, we're hopefully close to the last days of quarantine.
Hopefully. Oh, Carol, you have no idea how long quarantine's gonna go on. Oh my gosh, so this was July. We confirmed in this video it was July. It's January of the next year and quarantine is not over. Not at all. I do love these ending credits. They have a picture of all the actors with their eyes closed. So, I guess these are like the outtake pictures of them. It's very funny. Yeah, somehow it seems really, really fitting that the game based on coronavirus has this really bitter ending. I mean, we caught the culprit. I guess we saved August's life, so that's good. But it doesn't really feel like a happy ending. It feels like a big downer. And yeah. Alrighty, so I think those are all the characters in this game. I have to say this game, it did really feel like it had a lot of characters, because a lot of this game was going after this, you know, the skateboard thing. That was actually, you know, that scavenger hunt. The skateboard scavenger hunt took up most of the game. I thought it was a nice game. I kind of would have liked a lot of characters. So, like, at the end, where Carol's like, oh, it took me a while to realize Jonna was having psychological issues. That's because you talked to her once. You talked to her once in, like, the first video, and then you didn't see her again for the rest of the game. So it would have been really hard for you to get, you know, a good sense of what she's like. So I feel like maybe if we had a reason to talk to Jonna multiple times, that would be good. I think the only character we talked to multiple times, Stina, yeah, we visited her multiple times, and Jonas. I like that. I like seeing Jonas play a large role in this game, because usually he's been sort of playing a really small role in a lot of the games, so it's nice to have him get a much larger role than normal. But Jasper was the only other character that we visited multiple times. Well, obviously, I mean, at the end of the game, here in the last video, we visited Jonna and August multiple times, so we visited them both twice. But yeah, this game really felt like it was mostly a scavenger hunt, and the regular characters that we see in every game. It didn't really feel like we had enough interaction with people. And I guess that totally makes sense because this game was made during quarantine. So it's not like they could have had a bunch of people filming footage. Well, in this case, it's just taking footage. It's just pictures, right? It's not actual video footage. Still, I think this is an interesting game. I'm really glad at some of the choices they made during this game, dealing with the coronavirus. You know, I like the silly picture of the toilet paper, and I like the puzzle to find a mask. That totally makes sense with the coronavirus. I got super tripped up by that puzzle with the rosé wine thingy, but you know, that also makes sense and fits the theme. I like how they actually made a game based on coronavirus, which, you know, sort of dealt with the issue, but didn't do it in like a really terrible way, because I was kind of worried that the entire game would be dark and depressing because of the coronavirus. And there was some stuff that was really dark and depressing, but that wasn't the worst part of the game. The worst part was sort of the note by August's father. That was really nasty. And then obviously the bitter ending, that wasn't so good. Anyway, I don't know, when I told people about this game, I got a bunch of comments. They're like, no, I don't want to see coronavirus get mentioned in any game. That will just make it sad and dark and depressing, will ruin it. I don't think it ruined the game. I feel like this game did a good job of tackling the pandemic and a lot of the feelings and a lot of the issues that came up during the pandemic. Overall, I would say I enjoyed this game. Well worth the $14. That's how much this game costs. I encourage you to go to the developer's website, MDNA Games. That's MDNA Games, and you can download the game yourself.